Hello and welcome back again to Clearings to Start Your Day. Today we're talking about decision making. This is actually decision making part 2. We're making a 2-part video series, maybe even 3, because it's such a big, juicy topic and there's so much to talk about. Joe originally wrote in, if you didn't see yesterday's, go back and start with that one and then come back to this one and we'll jump right in to these clearings to start your day. So another big piece that I found, Joe, with decision making is that if we're hesitating on a decision, if there's something that we don't want to, or I speak for myself, if there's something that I don't want to do, something that I'm deliberating on and going back and forth on, it's actually because there's something else that I don't want to deal with. So I'd rather, go back and forth on this decision. Should I do yoga? Should I not do yoga? Should I do yoga? Should I not do yoga? But really, what I don't want to deal with is if I actually just did 5 minutes of yoga, then I'd have to start my day. And what I really don't want to do is make that sales call or decide not to buy that program or decide to, leave a certain project or decide whatever it is. Like I'd have to actually face something else. So there's something that going back and forth gets you off the hook from actually dealing with. So all the ways you're using your back and forth energy on decision making and making a choice to avoid something else that you're really trying to avoid. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Now that's a courageous one, because if you destroy that, then you actually have to be willing to deal with and look at that thing that you're not willing to deal with and look at. And I have an example, but don't have time to go into it this morning, but I purchased a program and I've been going back and forth on that a whole bunch. And I can maybe do details on that in another video, but I realized just this morning what it is that I don't want to deal with underneath all that. And it's a huge energy opening up. If you ask my wife, even just 30 minutes ago, I was a cranky man. And now I'm back on track because I realized what was going on underneath it. So take a look at that. And I wrote it down as a specific question as, where we go? Yeah, what does it keep you safe from? So what does not making a decision keep you safe from? Because we will do more for safety, as you know, than we will for anything else. So what does not making a decision keep you safe from? And the belief that the best way to stay safe is to not make a decision. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? In all the ways that you saw your parents or your aunts and uncles or those that you saw as authority figures staying safe because they didn't make decisions, would you be willing to return all of that to sender with love and consciousness attached? Because we saw so much of that growing up. We saw our parents oftentimes, sadly, choosing not to go for what they really wanted to do. I know I heard my mom say many, many times, oh, I should have been a writer, or, I should have done more travel, or, oh, I should be a writer, and then consistently choosing not to do that. And that kept her safe in her job. Now, she's still happy with her life. It's not like she's got massive regrets or anything, but I know that she would have loved to have been a writer, but she never went down that path. So if I borrow that energy in my life, I could see that not making a clear decision will keep me safe. So all the ways that you've done that, would you be willing to return that to sender with love and consciousness attached? Next big piece. Look up a book called Changeology. Now, I didn't actually get to read this book yet. I only read a summary of the book. But the concept made such a big difference for me that I decided it's on a list of books that I'm going to read. But the idea is that with any new thing that we want to start, there's actually stages. And I forget how many stages it is. We'll just say it's 5. But in any decision that you want to make, let's say you want to decide to go to yoga, as Joe had mentioned in her post, in her comment and question, you want to go to yoga. But before you can make a decision, I'm going to yoga or I'm going to do yoga, that's like the final of the 5 stages. The first one is something like contemplation, where you just kind of daydream about it and think about it a little bit and kind of try it on energetically and see how it feels. And then the second one is you start to think about, well, what's the impact of that and how's it going to affect my life? And does it actually work with all the other things that I'm doing right now? And am I ready for that, or is there something else to do before that? And then the third stage is actually checking out specific yoga classes and specific yoga practices or kinds of practices. And then you see, does the particular yoga that I've been doing, like if it's Ashtanga, does that actually work for me? Well, no, it's actually too intense or too rigorous in the morning. I'd rather do something like a mild Kundalini or half. There's all these stages before going to a yoga class, but all of us, we all want to skip to the end and just make that decision and go to a yoga class. But have you allowed yourself the space and the freedom to go through those first stages to actually come to a proper decision for yourself or choice. So all the ways, Joe and everyone else, that you are using impatience to try to force yourself into a reality you're not ready for yet. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? And all the ways that you are adhering to this reality's version of what is right and wrong by trying to make a decision right away, straight off the bat, before actually seeing if that decision works for you. Would you be willing to return all of that to sender with love and consciousness attached? So there's one more thing that I wrote down about that. The way that our culture puts people on a pedestal who are able to make firm decisions and quick decisions and make things happen. But we completely ignore their whole setup process. And they probably have a lengthy setup process. And I've noticed in my life that for anything that I actually stick to, there's a setup process. So my yoga practice, there was a setup process. Like, I had to go through some phases. I do a daily reading in a devotional book about Jesus. It's called Jesus Calling. And I read it every single day. As soon as I got it, my wife bought it for me. As soon as I got it, just every single day. It is a habit. But there's been a whole bunch of foundational setups. I made some choices that I love the energy that is Jesus, and I love that energy. But reading the Bible every day doesn't really work for me. I'm not technically Christian, and it's like so much of it doesn't work for me. But when I picked up that book in a bookstore many, many months ago, and I loved it. I loved the feel of it. I loved the hold of it. And then I kind of daydreamed about it ever since for quite a while, and I didn't buy it for myself. I don't know why. So there were many, many months, if not years, of setup to then have this book, and now it's just an easy daily habit that I do. It's a choice that I made. So if you ignore that whole setup time and all you do is there we go. All the ways you're only valuing the final end decision and not your lead up or your setting up the foundation. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Whew. Oh, 7 minutes, huh? There you go. Just happens fast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this video with anyone you think could get a benefit out of having some more clarity or clearing around decision making. And please comment below with any 1 or 2 word ideas that you'd love to have, quick soundbite or 5 minutes of clearing in the morning on, rejection or hate or love or lost love or physical pain in your body or, but be specific on what body part, anything like that. Please comment below and then I can make one of these videos just for you. Have an amazing day and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.